But let's get into it. And I think the best place to start is Man United being shit again. Shock to the world. Now, we both predicted... Well, actually, I predicted a Man United draw on the weekend. Obviously, they lost 3-0 to Man City. I think I said 2-2. You said 3-2. To Man United, that is. I'm just going to say let it rip, Taylor, and I think you dive into what you have to say about the weekend and the club again. You know, let's not try to sound like a broken record, which I think is we are in danger of happening, but also it's an important thing to go through. So, go.
Thank you, Cormac. Thank you for giving me the space here to discuss. This is my equivalent of therapy, so I'm going to just let loose. No, actually, I think it's important to hold even, balanced, fair debates. That being said, and I don't like to swear on this podcast, I like to keep it PG. That was shit. Like, so much of that was just so bad. But the worst thing about it is, it's not the first time I've seen this. All the issues that were on display on Sunday against Manchester City is something I've repeatedly seen in one instance or another for a year since Ruben Amorim has taken over. I'm not going to talk you through the game, listeners or watchers, because I'm sure, you know, time has passed.
We've seen it. Yeah.
You've seen it. But what I will discuss is Ruben Amorim and what he's done in the year he's had in charge of Manchester United. Coming up to a year, he was hired November last year. And since that time, out of the 17 consistent teams who are in the Premier League, not the ones who have been promoted, not the ones who have been relegated, Manchester United sit 17th out of 17th in positions in the league based on points secured through Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim has won 8 of his 31 games in charge for Manchester United. Ruben Amorim has got his own way in various situations, be it players leaving, coaching staff coming in, players joining the club. He has had it all, and he's not even manager. His job title does not say manager, he's head coach. Ruben Amorim has implemented a system which has not been played in the academy at any point in Manchester United's history, has not been played in the first team, maybe once or twice under previous managers in a rare scenario, ever in our history, and is having absolutely no success. In a world where we're playing 3 centre-backs, conceding 3 goals and not scoring a single goal after spending £250 million on a whole new attack, to me that screams, well, it can't clearly... You got rid of a whole attack on the basis that we didn't score any goals last season. So we brought 3 new players, 2 who overperformed incredibly in the Premier League and were 2 of the standout players. And you still can't score a goal. To me, that screams, oh, it must be the system that you're playing. And he's just refusing to budge on that, and he's continuing to play the same system. I look at that midfield, and that midfield is so poor. And it's not even because of the personnel, because you've got Bruno Fernandes, who was and has been the top creator in the Premier League for the past 4 years, alongside that of Kevin De Bruyne, alongside that of, say, a Trent Alexander-Arnold, you know, these top-tier players. And what Ruben Amorim's system has done, and what Ruben Amorim has chosen to do, is pull him further away from where he's been so effective for so many years for Manchester United. He's been our best player for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes.
For the last 6-7 years.
And
as long as he's been there. Yeah.
And we all know, as fans of the club, what his weaknesses are. And it's the further you drag him away from that goal, the more his overall weaknesses are exposed. And it showed again because he let his runner go again for the Phil Foden ran off of Bruno Fernandes and was able to head that in. That's because Bruno Fernandes is not a central defensive midfielder, but he's being forced to play in centre defensive midfield. It's unbelievably ridiculous. We have 3 centre-backs and we still concede so much space. We have no control at any point. Our biggest threats are our left wing-back and our right wing-back. And the whole thing is ridiculous. And the biggest thing about it, which really frustrates me, is that he will refuse to do anything about it. And that is, to me, a sign of a really poor manager for a top team. He might go somewhere else and he might implement the back system is fluid, whatever. He might go and do that and it might work somewhere else, and that's really good for him. But in the Premier League, you have to be so tactically flexible nowadays. No team is playing one system so unbelievably rigidly and being unbelievably successful. The best teams are just really solid and are able just to adapt to their opponent, and not, if you're going to just face the same opponent in the Premier League with the same system. These guys spend millions of pounds every year on analysts who are carving this system apart as we speak, and it's working. It's not even carving it apart because it's already been carved open. Everyone knows what its weaknesses is. Pass through the middle of the pitch because no one's there. You got Manu Ugarte, who's just looking for a war. You got Bruno Fernandes, who's not watching any man because nor should he, because he's the cam. Last season Bruno Fernandes was playing striker for us, and now he's being forced to play as a deep lying six. I'm just like, what the? It just makes no sense. And so much change has happened at the club. And if I sit here now, and I hate, and we've had some really tough times at United in recent history, and I've never really even been one to say we need to get rid of a manager. I've really, even with Ollie, with Eric Ten Hag, even with Jose Mourinho, you probably accept the time's up, but it feels horrible getting rid of a manager. I just really wouldn't mind if we got rid of Ruben Amorim. I would have to name 3 or 4 reasons as to why Ruben Amorim is still in the job before I get to it's because of I've seen something from him or his team or his style or his idea that has convinced me that this is worth trying. It's the board have made this decision and they don't want to look like fools. They desperately need it to work because it's the first big decision they've made. They've sacked a lot of people. They brought in this guy for Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag now, who's recently been sacked himself. A kill for Eric Ten Hag right now.
He's free.
Yeah, absolutely. They brought this guy. This is their guy. And they've put all their eggs in this basket. They have got rid of Manchester United's highest earners to back this manager. They don't want to look ridiculous. He is a fantastically eloquent speaker. He's able to convince everyone that he knows what he's doing. But at some point, we need to just understand this is all fart and no shit. And he's just blagging it. He's not managed in the Premier League before. He is just getting carved apart by just superior managers, coaches, and also, straight up say it, Manchester United just looked like an average mid-table squad. And the hardest thing for Manchester United fans to adjust to is that actually just might be the truth, that we have just managed to accumulate a bunch of overpaid average players in 75% of the team. Because we look at these players and we're like, oh, we love Ahmad. We think Bruno's fantastic. De Ligt has been hyped up since he was 18 years old. Harry Maguire, steadfast of England, squad. We have, who else? Diego Dallo, mainstay in the Portuguese side. Luke Shaw. We have Kobbie Mainoo, who's this, prestigious academy talent. We have, Patrick Dorgu, a 20-year-old. But, what has any of these guys shown us in the past 3-4 years that makes me think, actually, you guys are pretty good. There's been very few moments, and maybe we just have to accept they're an average team. But I don't want to, because before I accept that, I want to see Ruben Amorim gone, and I want to see anyone else manage that team with just a normal formation, which isn't stupid beyond, but it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm sick of seeing 3 at the back.
Well, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing
over and over again, and he's not going to change it. And we're going to go to Chelsea the weekend, and we're going to play 3 at the back again, and we're going to lose, and he's going to get sacked. And if he doesn't get sacked, the Manchester United fans are going to be absolutely fuming. I can't believe this. Speaking on behalf of an incredibly diverse fan base from people in Manchester, all around the world, all around the UK. I'm sure there is plenty of people who like Ruben Amorim. I'm sure there's plenty of people who want to give him more time. I'm sure there's still a large majority. But I can almost guarantee so many of them will flip if we were to lose to Chelsea. Yeah. Because we are playing at the minute every game, game by game by game. And every game, even if we win, if we lose the next one, it's almost at the precipice. Because his record has been so bad. He's never won 2 games in a row, if I can remember off the top of my head. He's shown me nothing that he can adapt. Poor guy with the hair on TikTok. Oh, man. He's not shown me anything to convince me that he has what it takes to implement a successful system in the Premier League. We have no European competitions. These weeks feel so long to mull over all these rubbish. If we were winning, I wouldn't even mind, but we're not even winning. If it looked like we were good, sure. Sesko looks like the bloody same as what we had with Ireland.
Well, I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it?
It just always was the system. It always has been the system, and it always will be the system. Ruben Amorim, just listen to me, please, for goodness sake. Stop playing 3 centre-backs. It will be a downfall. We have no midfield. Put another midfielder in there. Jesus Christ. If we're conceding 3 goals with 3 centre-backs, I can almost guarantee you we won't concede more if we put 4 at the back and 3 in midfield. I can guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you've basically hit the nail on the head there in terms of the issues. I as an outsider, so a non-Man United fan, I don't see a world where Amorim turns this around.
He should have got sacked ages ago, in my personal opinion.
The summer was the opportunity, wasn't it? But like you said, the board couldn't because it's their first decision.
Yeah.
And it makes them look stupid. I mean, he doesn't get sacked this weekend if you lose to Chelsea. I think the earliest he stays is... The next time to do it would be the international break.
I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, for him to show me, this is me personally, I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone else here, for me to show, to believe in him in any capacity, I need him to beat Chelsea, I need him to beat Brentford, and I need him to beat Sunderland. Realistically,
I'm just pulling up the next fixture.
He's got to beat Brentford and Sunderland, because if he ain't beating both of them, he's got to be gone, in my opinion.
Away at Brentford's not easy, though.
Look, we need European football in some capacity next year. We're already at the Carabao Cup. Bro, should have been sacked after Grimsby, in my absolute opinion.
That's one of the worst results in history.
If you're struggling as a Manchester United coach and you're not getting wins, and you still can't coach the team to a win at a fourth tier team, you should be sacked. I think that is not an outrageous thing to say. Not enough people. The only person who's Gary Neville's only started discussing what's his future been at risk. I've been saying it here for weeks. He should have been gone time ago. You know, after that international break, he got it there. We got Liverpool. If we keep him and we don't win every single game, we get to Liverpool lose, we could conceivably, after the Liverpool game, be anywhere between 13th and in the bottom three.
Yeah, genuinely, you actually could.
No, 100%. We're 14th right now.
You've got Chelsea this weekend, and let's be honest, that's going to be a tough game.
Well, it's going to be just a lose. I haven't seen anything from this team which gives me any crop of belief that they can go to a competent team and get a result.
Well, let's take it back to the first week, because there was a lot of optimism after that Arsenal result.
Everyone was just gassed because it was after pre-season and we beat Bournemouth, and everyone else said we were really good.
I think looking then, even there was something, wasn't there? And I don't know if that kind of says more about the way Arsenal played in hindsight, but there was something that gave Man United fans optimism. I think it was the likes of the shiny new toys, maybe of Mbeumo, Acuna, and there was a bit more. Felt like there was a bit more dynamism.
Dynamism. I feel like the scars of last season, people have forgotten about them, but the scars cut so deep because it was so bad.
Yeah.
Like our worst season of all time domestically, and to lose a European final where we performed dreadfully against Tottenham of all teams.
They were also
so the scars from that season are just so deep, emotionally traumatizing season. I think everyone was just in their best spirits to kind of convince themselves that things were changing, because we needed that as a fan base. But everything I've seen since has just convinced me, no, we haven't changed. We've just rehashed. We brought 3 new players, rehashed the exact same traumas that we've got. I say traumas. We've got no midfield. No wonder we get beat every week. We ain't got a midfield.
Yeah.
The fact that, in hindsight, and I think I kind of raised it at the time, spend £70 million on Benjamin Sesko when we had essentially a similar-ish problem with Rasmus Højlund to Sesko. We're going to have the same problem we have this season with Sesko as we had with Højlund. Yeah. Imagine just having spent that money on a midfielder.
Or two midfielders.
Or just 2 midfielders. Or just a midfielder, for instance, who could have just come in and allowed Kobbie Mainoo to be a partner for him in midfield, or just prevented Bruno Fernandes to having to play there. Just seemed like such a better use. I think why are we so bad at this?
From what I've seen, it seems to be the biggest issue for me in terms of
I just think as well,
so much space, and
as soon as you bypass it, we've got 3 centre backs, and there's just such a space in between all of them that it's just they're either too crowded together and there'll be a space on the other side, or they're too spread out and there'll be gaps down the middle for people to run through the half space. And these players have not been able to figure out the trigonometry essentially to prevent that happening. And it's clear because it happens every single week. We are conceding similar goals all the time. We have that third man running off the midfield because there's no midfield into the box because the centre backs are occupied. I don't know how, because there's 1,000 of them, but they're all occupied by the same player. And then the bloke in behind just comes and just sticks in. Smith Rowe ran off Bruno, scored. Foden ran off Bruno, scored. How many more times are we going to see that this season before Ruben Amorim thinks, ooh, maybe if I just stop letting that be a situation, that goal might stop happening. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here waiting and cautiously watching.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Man United rant.
Thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it.
No, Man United shit.
We so are, man.
Really shit. You're going to lose probably to Chelsea this weekend, I imagine.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to see what happens to Amorim.
You know what? If you could kind of clip me up over this 4-week period from the start to now.
Oh, God, it would be really fun.
I mean, to be fair, I think my rant after Grimsby. Actually, you know what?
I think that's opposite.
I think the rant was before Grimsby. Funny enough.
That's so funny.
And then Grimsby happened, and now this has happened. Long story short, sack him.
Yeah, I think it feels like it is. It's not if, it's when.
Just the fact he's still got a job is, if this happened at Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, any of the other massive clubs who I would associate Manchester United with in their standings historically would have got rid absolutely ages ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely ages ago. And it's a sign that these people above in the top brass of Manchester United need to essentially, own up to their mistakes, to put it very nicely, because I'm being recorded, and be like, we've messed up here with Manchester United. We just need to remedy this. Not, it's nice to get a coffee with Ruben. Let's keep him in post. Get rid of him.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. So that was I don't know if you guys saw that, the Man United lost on the weekend to Man City 3-0.